filling the hard drives. Yes, and greetings, and welcome to Diedrick & Die Presents Titan's Gift, Season 2, Episode 24. I'm your demon host, Marty, joined by almost the full Seattle crew, Gene, Luke, Matt, and Neil, in order in which they appear on my desktop. How is everyone doing today?
Woo! Hey!
Hey, with
Doing pretty good. It's summer out there. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So let's get on the computer and play some D&D.
Yeah. Tis the season.
Right?
Yeah, you nailed it. You nailed it.
Yeah,
That's what you do, right?
I can feel my my upper floor of my apartment area getting quite warm today. I've been on conference calls all day, so I haven't been able to kick on the AC, which is right beside my computer.
Right.
So when I game, I can't have that going the entire time.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a bit loud.
Is it?
Yeah. It's definitely audible.
Yeah, okay, right.
But the conference calls
not terrible.
Get ahead, right?
Yeah. Well, I run meetings though. My job is like I'm always fucking talking. So.
Well,
my home office faces towards the sun all day as well, so my AC is running as well. If it's not on, I'll sit here and I'll look like an Olympic swimmer. Not in a good way. Not the nice body to hold weight.
Right. Just like you got thrown into an Olympic pool. So okay, all right.
That's it.
All right. Neil's fantasizing about having the physique of swimmers. All right.
Positive thoughts, Marty.
Marty's got an AC unit that's been taunting him all day. How's everyone else doing?
Pretty good. I finally bought my first car, so I can leave 4 walls for once in the last 100 days.
Please tell me you're not going to go off-roading in a smart car again?
No. Okay. I
Okay.
decided not to get a smart car. 3 times doing that was fine. It was enough. I'm good now. I got an all-wheel drive car, so.
This is when I first met Luke. It's like 4 years ago now, kind of thing? 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Luke sent me a picture of this smart car almost tumbling down what looked like a mountainside trail. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, it was a nice trail. It was a little bit rough going, but we made it. And I'm like, oh man. And it was like a rental smart car. It was the stupidest thing.
It was pretty wild. My sister was in town. We wanted to go hiking, and it was people driving past us in trucks and like Jeeps and stuff looked at us like we're crazy. A couple of like local boys peeled past in like a beater truck with like a couch in the back and were like looking at us like we were the craziest people on the planet. And then like a mile later down the road, they're pulled off and their engine's smoking and we're in like the little smart car.
Nice.
It was so good, dude. It was so good. Nice. Don't do that. Don't try that at home. It is very stressful.
Well, congrats, man. That's a big thing.
Yeah, it is. I'm excited.
Enjoy.
Gene, what's going on with you?
I don't really have an AC. I have a portable unit that like the ducts go outside into the window. But the problem is that they are washing our windows this week. And while they're doing that, you can't install those ducts. And they said it's sometime this week. They didn't tell you when. Hasn't happened yet. Although they do start at 7 a.m., so you can definitely hear that it's happening. Sometimes 6 or like 6:30 maybe. Anyway, it sucks because Puppy's hot and he needs AC, but it can't be enabled, and it sucks.
Yeah. It's starting to get hot, man.
Yeah.
Summer's almost here. Finally here. Who knows? Probably rain tomorrow. I don't know.
Matt.
in order to survive this COVID-19 apocalypse here, I ordered myself some gummy peach rings.
Oh, look at this guy.
I ordered 4.5 pounds of gummy peach rings.
Oh my god, keep him,
Oh, that looks
keep him away from the sun.
that looks amazing, and I can't have that.
Oh my
I'm
god.
going to take a few of them,
Yeah.
just a few of them for now.
Sure.
And then I'm going to put them away.
And when that few runs out, you just go, oh, I'll have a few more.
They are a little too close to where I normally sit.
Yeah.
That is true. They'll last less time than I hoped. But yeah, gummy peach rings.
Okay, just a reminder that we are doing some housekeeping. So we are doing fortune points and hero points. Fortune points are +2 to a roll, either retroactively or you can bestow the point to one of the players. It's also +2 to an AC versus one attack, and there are hero points, which are equivalent to what we've used in the past in various forms. Here are the rules for what hero points can do. And you can spend, you being the folks in chat, can spend your channel points towards those things. So this is the first time that the Titans group crew has played with both of those mechanics. Of course, there are also villain points. We'll talk about those until they come up. And boons as well that are possible. Okay, with that out of the way, why don't we do a recap of what happened last game? Last game we called it Make It Rain. The Jerks Emeritus charm and question Lavender's guards and the perfume maker Vendra, who admits to creating snake oil cures for the Blood Veil. Pretending to be agents of the Queen, Pharisee, Son, and the Professor convince Vendra to stop making her cures and to post a confession to her customers and an apology to the Nezumi upon the door of her shop. Naita the Nezumi shows the Jerks the location of the Direption, a coal-burning train engine that was deposited several months ago into the Lilypad swamp. The Jerks Emeritus spend an evening at Zephyrus' master's abode. Son casts a powerful divination, asking about the dangers of the swamp and the dangers of Racker's Alley. As a thunderstorm blankets the city, the Jerks, with their new companion Thurgus, set out towards Racker's Alley, where they find several vampire creatures crawling about the rooftops under the cover of dark skies. Oh, thanks for the bits.
I have a tenuous grasp of what they do. But keep going.
That's what they did. You just cheered. And you could write a message, which you like to do. Eventually, it'll unlock different badges and I think some emotes, but you have to cheer more than that.
I can't hide.
Oh, you're number 3 in the cheerleader board, I think, right now, which is pretty cool.
Woo!
Way to go, Luke. All right. Not necessarily, by the way. Not necessarily.
I got the bits now, guys.
Yep. Okay, so we left off kind of at the end of combat where you had turned, how many vampires? 3 of them into this strange mist. Like you beat them up so badly that they lost their corporeal forms, turned into mist. Now Thurgus has swung his sword and Zephyrus has swung his scythe through the mist, which doesn't seem to do any more damage to these creatures. The spell-casting vampire creature that also nearly blew up the Professor crawled into a hatch that was open, and the hatch sort of closed along the top of the toy maker's shop, which you guys are all standing outside of in Racker's Alley. Well, technically it's kind of around the corner, but in the pouring rain. All the torrent of blood is now slowly being washed into the street. Thurgus swings his blade and it goes right through this misty creature as it's kind of morphing into gas and flowing under the doorstop and through the keyhole and the cracks of the door. So it basically just flowed inside. We're out of combat at this point. Professor, you're sucking fumes on the roof. After flying around, you're like, ugh. You're pretty hurt, I think, and your crawling claw is tugging at your shirt like it wants to go into the. It's pretty damaged as well and wants to go into your belly button bag of holding.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it go inside and cower in fear in the like space between spaces. I'll also cast invisibility on myself, fly down to the group, and say, "I've disrupted their caster. We may want to press the offensive while it lasts."
The building is like 20 feet, right?
The roof here was 20 feet. The actual roof of this building is only about 15. It's like a little building that they built next to the more sturdy one.
Okay.
I may be able to continue with a bit of a diversion on the second floor. That may keep them preoccupied, but we may want to get a move on.
Okay, the door is closed. It does have a lock on it. I don't know if it is locked. There are tarps that look like tarps and maybe even paint that have been painted are put up on the inside of this particular lead glass window. And yeah, you can't really see into the shop, so I'm just going to refog this part.
Where the head vampire, where he crawled in on the roof, what was that area look like? It was like a hatch up there, right?
It looked like it led to an attic. Like the roof does have a bit of a peak to it, and there might be a crawl space like attic up there.
I'll fly back up above it, cast Unseen Servant, and I will try to open it. I'll try and if it's locked, the Unseen Servant's going to keep rattling the lock. If it's not, the Unseen Servant's going to fling it open with his 20 pounds of force.
While he's doing that...
So that's 2 rounds of actions. Everyone else can get 2 rounds of actions as well.
Son will ask Thurgus to help him back up onto the roof where Balamut is. I mean, it's a roof of a building, like a climate, I'm assuming.
You want me to go up there?
No, I want me to go up there and help me up there. Just give me a push.
Aren't you already up there? Your token says you're already up there.
Oh, I thought I came down. Oh, okay. I see the line.
Okay.
Never mind. I misread the world. It happens.
You all right? Did you hit your head when you were doing your little blipping?
Yeah. And also stomach. I don't remember what hurt me. Oh, it was a lightning.
Yeah, well, you got pretty scrambled there. You go in up there, I'll go in this way.
When Pharisee flies by, channel positive energy.
Okay.
So Ferris is going to use
So
one of these.
this is Son channeling positive energy.
Mm-hmm.
The professor is also within range. I'm gonna you're kind of like looking at the hatch.
Right. That's 25 feet. I think it's better than the range of.
I'm gonna draw a little square representing the hatch. It's right here.
I'm gonna mage armor myself in mirror image Pixel. Pixel, I think the carriage got dismissed, right? So
the carriage
Pixel
got. Remember, you guys crashed it between
Yeah.
the 2 buildings, and then you were basically driving around in the rain without the professor really paying attention to where his carriage was going.
Never does. Never will.
That's funny.
So
Okay.
Pixel's pretty much in my vest because it's too windy out today for her to be out.
Bukerbeck comes wandering over, and how much was on that channel?
14.
Okay, so Son healed 14. Zephyros heals 14, you're big enough to be included in that, and then Professor, you were in the aura when Son called upon Iambulus, and this gray aura kind of pulsed out from him.
Nice. 14 as well.
Yep.
It's green. The aura is green.
Sure, green.
There we go. Yeah, it's
So
30 foot. Right.
So Pierce is going to cast the spell sword just so that he can use his wand freely.
Nice. So you're sticking your wand in your scythe.
My staff in my side. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, your staff of fire in your scythe. That is so awesome.
Neil, you're a little quiet.
I wasn't here the last round, so I'm just a little bit catching up on what's happening in the.
I meant your mic.
So you mean my mic?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally get it, dude.
I don't know
You
why.
do hear you over there. Just couldn't hear you, buddy.
Sorry. I'll check my settings.
Okay, so that looks like 2 rounds for everyone. Makernam just crawls back onto Zephyrus's back if he was off there, and Bukerbek just trundles up to the edge and is peeking around at what you guys are doing. Door's locked, says Thurgus. Hopefully, I'm getting his Cockney accent proper.
That seems about right. Yeah.
You get the accent about right. How's my mic volume now? Is it better?
A little bit, yeah.
I'll max it out. You let me know if it's a problem, okay?
Okay.
You won't. I should bust it down.
Well, we need to get in
I'm
there.
all for it.
All right, stand back. He takes his adamantine greatsword in 2 hands and starts chopping the door. Given that the door, the wood and a little bit of metal, that hardness is not greater than what the adamantine axe is. He's chopping through it and getting through the hardness. It takes about, I don't know, 2 rounds of swings for there to be a pile of kindling where there was once a door.
Does the door on the 2nd floor open?
It does not. It rattles. You guessed right. There's some sort of latch on the other side.
Okay, I'll throw a ghost sound down of like just like inane babble yelling on the roof here.
Okay. Thurgus looks in. It's just a bunch of toys in here.
They must have gone somewhere.
But just to be clear, what kind of toys are these? Toys that could be used for evil somehow, or just regular toys?
Now I'm afraid of all the fucking toys with questions like that. he chops a thing and
Can't be too sure these days.
and like at the end of his adamantine blade, there's this big like nutcracker like toy that's coming apart.
Okay, that's terrifying.
It just
Nutcrackers are very scary.
toys like that. It's all now a bunch of pieces being washed away in the street, but it was a
Trail of blood.
Yeah. There's a bunch of blood going to a drain in the center of the room.
Fair point. That might be the professor's blood.
Son, prances over to the professor, or I guess he wouldn't see him. But it's still, there is a door there. He prances over to what he thinks is the door. If he runs into the professor...
No, the professor's on the roof, so we'll just move him off to the side.
I'm like flying above
the building, yeah.
Okay.
And,
the professor's the unseen servant side there.
And then you see it's a shop. It's also it's a shop where someone would work on and sell toys. This seems to be more like the sales room. There are a bunch of toys that look like they've been scattered, like somebody has rooted through these big shelves for valuables, and the kind of shoddy wooden toys are lying all over the place. There is a door, and then there's there isn't an attic that is independent of this room. There seems to be sort of like a loft area with a small walkway that is high up there, and it looks like it's used more like a shelf. And I'm going to draw the shelf in gray, and it's kind of hanging above, about 8 feet above above this part of the room. And you guys do see that there's a hatch. Like Sean can look up and see the roof, and there's a hatch, and there it looks like there's just a metal slide bar, and the hatch is going like this, and there's insane babbling coming from the hatch. There's something on the roof. It sounds like it's trying to come in.
The unseen servant is like invisible as well, or
the unseen servant's on the roof. You don't know about it.
but
Yeah, he's
I was
in-
just there.
Yeah, he's in.
Oh yeah, it's right there. It's, unseen servant is it's with your perception would have been visible through the rain.
Gotcha.
And
You
know the professor
Up a little
employs.
bit.
You know that the professor employs creatures to help him with pretty much everything.
Well, and I think
you were also able to pinpoint the professor's position near the hatch because the rain is creating sort of an outline.
Mm-hmm.
Like the rain's coming down in sheets, and it's like, oh yeah, there's an invisible creature there.
Gotcha. Then walk that way, and what I want to do is.
Oh, sorry, you're on the roof, not down
So-
with Thargus. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so yeah, never mind. You don't see into the building.
I don't.
You could see the professor and the unseen servant trying to get in. Sorry, when you moved into the middle here, I thought you were down with Thurgus.
Oh no, I meant like move on to the roof because I knew there was a hatch here.
Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
there's a hatch.
What I want to do is touch the hatch, and cast, or not cast, but to use a spell-like ability, door side.
Door sight.
I'll have the unseen servant back off so that once Son starts approaching, so he can do what he does.
Okay. There's all sorts of weird noises in here. It's freaking me out.
I'll also move over to the side here against like a wall or something and do a silent image of a box around me and concentrate on that. Just so anybody looking would like be able to notice the rain is passing through the box. It would be hard for me to mimic that in the illusion, but you wouldn't see like some guy getting hit by like rain if you're looking for it.
Okay, so you could see through the hatch door. You could see that there's like a little walkway that's sort of suspended high up in the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see over the edge, and you can see Thurgus looking up at the hatch, and he's got his blade out, and he's reacting to the ghost sound.
Okay.
I'm gonna step in as well because
Okay.
I can see invisible, and take a look around, and
All right.
flutter up just a little bit if needed.
There is a lot of blood that is coming from the door leading to this drain.
Right. So I'm gonna blame that on the professor's waves of blood.
Sephiroth is also going to step closer to the door, but he's not going to step in yet. He's just peeking through, seeing what he can see.
Do you
Okay.
hear anything? Do I hear anything other than I guess there's a lot of babbling and racket?
Oh, I'm gonna say with the rain, these perception rolls are a minus, and other conditions they're at -8. Pharisee got a natural 20, and we'll see.
Nah, I got a 10. I have a plus 20
sorry.
mod.
Oh, never mind.
It's absurd.
The other way. Distance probably be about 10. Okay, so Pharisee is the only one that thought she heard like a piece of wood being moved in this next room. Like it was sort of a
I'm gonna point at the door and flutter down to the ground and hunch down a bit and stay quiet.
Okay, so Thurgus waves away the sound of the ghost sound. Is it still lingering, Professor, or?
Yeah, it'll last for like 8 rounds from when I cast it.
Okay. Thurgus gets to the door. The door also has a small lock on it, but the door looks even flimsier than the one that he just, turned into kindling.
Can I cast Detect Undead?
Yep.
I cast Detect Undead.
All right. Which way are you pushing the detection?
Okay, without...
It is a cone that you have to you could, in the first round, basically you point in a direction and you detect the presence or absence of auras, and then if you want to continue to get more information, you have to continue concentrating in that direction. If you change directions, it restarts.
That's what I figured. Well, without metagaming, so I know that building ends westward.
Yep.
And I know that the hatch is like pointing down, and I saw our friends go into the building. So I figured if they were in anywhere, that would be south of where Son is and like down a little bit.
Okay, so south and down a little bit. Do you want to? Let me draw some cones. The spell cones are fun. Let's do this in yellow. Do you want a 60-foot cone like that? Or do you want a 60-foot cone like that?
On the first one, I just see a line going west because I don't see Thunder the Black.
That's
okay. I see this
area.
one.
Okay, there is the presence of undead. You're like, oh, like you get a ping right away, and your palm begins to itch, and your least strong finger, which would be your pinky, is like twitching of its own accord. Well, the spell is doing it, but all right. What's everyone else doing this round? Thurgus is like waving people over.
I am going to move. I'm going to move closer. I'm going to stealthily move over to here.
Okay.
I'll keep the box illusion up, cower underneath it, and if I have a move left or an action left, I'll do Cure Light Wounds charge.
Balmet comes over to like sniff at Son because he maybe senses Son's motion. He ended up pushing the unseen servant out of the way. Bukerbeck's just trying to get out of the rain a little bit and goes up to Zephyros. Makranam slips off of Zephyros's shoulder and turns into a toy box and sort of positions himself in a shelving unit.
Please tell me Balamut like uses one of Zephyros's ears as like an umbrella. Because I mean it's large enough, right?
He just sort of grab it. That's pretty funny. No, Bukerbeck has enough respect for the Fant that he's not touching him. However, the big door.
That's right.
The big door that he carries on him is kind of sticking out a little bit, and you do see he's crunched under the door. Son.
Well, so the second Son sent something and was able to speak by the rules of the game.
Yep.
You would be like, there's undead in the building south of us.
Okay. Son, you are detecting in the second round?
Just keep concentration. And like heading down if I can.
But Son is on the roof, right?
Yes.
Are you shouting this? Is there any chance of us hearing you?
It's raining. I'm shouting. Like that you couldn't hear normal speech.
Yeah, you can hear Son. On the second round, I'm going to type in VC how many undead auras you're picking up from your spell.
Sure. Whatever's good for you.
Zephyros will move into the room when he gets a moment.
Let me just find our chat. Give me a second. Buried window.
Huh. Yeah. Sean immediately screams, "Hey, there's 15 undead there."
You know the aura of the strongest undead is...
And know the aura of the strongest undead is...
Give me a second. 88. It's strong.
Okay. And some are very strong. Maybe wait for us.
Zephyrus reacts immediately
Yep.
when he hears this news, and he steps in, and he touches Thurgus on the shoulder, and I'm trying to figure out how he would say it, because he wouldn't want to utter the words in a way that he gives anything away.
Maybe we'll wait for that.
Well, I don't know if they can hear you inside the building if you're shouting, right? Because there's roofs, and there's a roof, there's walls, there's water dripping all over, the gutters are drenching. It's wet, right? It's raining. Zephyrus just quietly says, "How many undead did you say?" You're muted.
I screamed 15.
Zephyrus just quietly, without any bass in his voice, he's just trying to have it be a very soft and gentle voice. He goes, "There's 15 undead. At least one big one. Son detected it."
That's a lot. Is this the good?
"Yes, it is.
Are they all in that room over here?
I don't know. He didn't say. He just shouted that there's 15 undead and one big one."
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it's not locked. Thurgus puts his hand on the little latch and pulls, and the door starts to pull open. He doesn't pull it all the way open, but he looks back like to make sure everyone's ready.
I will.
Zephyrus takes a step back.
Yep.
I will hex him with protective luck.
Cool.
You will hex
A
the
good hex.
Yes.
Oh, all right. He gives you a look, and he throws open the door, and you can see a creature that is partially, well, it's the albino-ish part elven vampire. It looks like it's in a weird sort of gaseous form. It's not like the bloody forms that you force the other vampires into, but sort of more of a gray cloud-like form. And he is currently pouring through an opening in the wall to the outside.
It'd be a shame if somebody hit him with a fireball while he's like that.
Yep, and I think initiative. We'll re-roll initiative. I have a bunch of ADs on here. What was this?
Arcane Disruption.
Right. So you had Arcane Disrupted him. It looks like there were 2 rounds outside, and then you guys lingered for... You guys all kind of came into the building, had a look around. That's 2 more rounds, and then this is the second round of Detect Undead, which means that there's 1 more round of Arcane Disruption on this initiative pick.
Good.
Somehow he has turned into mist, even though he's been disrupted.
Hopefully it took him a few tries.
And I'm going to re-roll initiatives. I'm going to take off the vampire things, and I'm going to add something else. Grisly Discovery.
That sounds promising.
I just want to say that's part of the fun of playing D&D with you, Marty. These innovative names that you come up with for the things we don't know yet, like the thrilled surprise and the grisly discovery.
Sure.
Fergus is excited to discover more grizzlies.
So am I, really.
Okay.
Dude,
The grisly discoveries go at +2. And then the random numbers are being generated. I'll do this on stream so you guys can see how impartial this is. There are your initiatives. Yeah, your greater GS was Ghost Sound. I think that's gone by now.
Okay. It would have started we did just the turn calculation. It's 8 turns long. It started probably the third turn after combat.
Okay, so it's still around then. It lasts even though you're not concentrating on it?
Yeah, that one is, since it's a cantrip, I think you just have to redo it every time.
Okay, we'll say it's got 4 rounds left. Zephyrus, you're the first to react. You can see that it's finished pouring through, and there might be a little bit of mist there. I can draw a line to you in the hole, so you can target the hole.
I'm going to absolutely target the hole with a fireball.
All right, he's going to get cover.
First, Zephyrus looks around and sees where's the professor.
Yeah.
He doesn't see him, which is a problem.
All right, he is going to get cover, and because it's like a tiny hole, I think it's like 3/4 cover. Give me a second here. But go ahead and roll your fireball damage.
Okay, these are 9 circle spells, so it will be 9d6 plus its magic. So 9d6 plus 4. Sorry, I was just thinking out loud while I was looking up.
That's fine. The power of your staff, which is currently housed inside of your scythe magically. Fireball erupts in the room and gouts through the hole. For 35 damage. Now, this has been 8 rounds out of combat, and this thing has fast healing. I've already given it 6 rounds. That's 30 hit points back. So he's been back there healing while you guys have been detecting. And he gets a reflex save, and he gets +4 to his reflex save, because of the wooden wall between him and you. Plaster wall, probably. So that's a +15. He gets a 34 in his save, so I think he makes it, but he still takes 17 points of fire damage, and you actually hear a creature go, ah!
I think I hit it!
Do I hear that on the other side of the wall, like indicating the creature's outside and not in the building anymore?
So let's say he made a noise in combat. There was a fireball going off, so that's DC 0. Distance is approximately 60, so that's DC 6. And then rain is DC 10. So it's a DC 10 perception check. It is around a corner. So corner, it's a DC 12 perception check to know that there's somebody outside in the and building. Now, you don't get alertness because your familiar is in your pouch right now. He's not out.
Shit.
So that's a -2, I think, is at this level.
Okay, this is not the easiest roll, but damn.
Okay, no, you heard a fireball go off, and you're pretty sure that there's something going on in the building, Professor. Good question.
I can't fail that roll because I have perception 14.
Okay, you saw a telltale flash on the outside in the alley.
Mm-hmm.
And give me a roll because you might hear something else.
Okay.
While he's rolling that, Zephyrus saw him going outside. So what Zephyrus is going to want to do is he's going to want to go outside and confront him there.
Got it.
So Zephyrus is going to 5-foot step towards the door as well as part of his move.
Okay. Makranam sees you leaving. He's going to turn into Makranam and... No, actually, no. He's going to, as a toy box, scuttle up to you with his little toy box legs and climb onto your back. The pale-skinned elf is going to... can't cast a spell this round, you bastard. He's going to heal.
Whenever Son gets the chance to scream, like, I don't know if you can only do that during your own round. But whenever he does, he just wants to yell, like, he's outside.
Okay. That was 45 feet. Let me check his movement. He moves at 30. Another 15. Okay. Son, with your perception check, you see the vampire creature peeking over the edge of the roof, like he's coming up some stairs. You're 5 feet down, but he is high enough up. And then with the professor's perception check this round, you didn't see him coming. You're in your little illusionary box and concentrating on things and looking at the hatch. And,
Gotcha.
he is no longer in your detective aura. All of a sudden, the strong aura is gone, and on your turn, I'll give you more information about your spell. So that's what that thing did. Soaking wet in the rain. Balmut. Let's see what Balmut, if Balmut sees this vampire thing. He doesn't. 11. He's kind of poking at you, responding to your emotional cues or you concentrating. He's kind of looking for guidance, I guess. What are you commanding Balmut to do?
Well, I can see the box, right? And like I know that it's the professor.
Yep.
I'm commanding him to go, like, cover the box.
Okay, to go cover the box.
Yeah, and then so he moved. Can he ready in action?
What's that? Balma could ready in action. Yep. He can move and ready to claw something if it comes near. Son, what are you doing?
And I can see him. So, improved. Does improved precise shot let me ignore all cover, or just like half? Or anything less than total cover, and he's not total cover.
Nope.
Okay. And he is 60 feet away.
So are you going to concentrate on your spell some more?
No, I'm dropping concentration.
Okay.
Like immediately, pretty much. So I'm 60 feet away. Is that like long distance, or is that?
That is within first range increment with your longbow. You can see him. He's coming up. He's trying to hide from like the professor, and I don't think he's really too afraid of. I think he wants to finish off the people on the roof. He has a really pissed off look.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, I will fire at him, I guess, with rapid shot. Like I'm kind of halfway concealed. So yeah, just rapid shot with fire. I think I still have enough.
Okay.
Let me check that.
You're trying to hit AC 31.
Right. 24. Yeah, I have 2. So let me look up.
Okay. While you're figuring that out, Bukerbeck he moves in and sees Zephyrus wanting to move out. He'll move all the way in, getting out of Zephyrus's way. He doesn't see anyone injured. He's got his shield and in hand. He's looking around.
So first, a fire arrow.
First arrow. While you would have hit him if he didn't have spells up, this arrow smashed against a what looks like maybe a shield spell.
Okay. 31.
You're also firing through the rain at a significant distance, so the rain is at a -4 to all attacks. The rain and the wind, especially on the roof. So 34 becomes a 27, which misses because of the rain.
Right. So I didn't know that. Well, this was rapid shot, so I guess I have to continue.
Yep.
This is haste attack with normal arrow. 19.
Okay, that one whistles into another building.
And 12. I don't think this can. 31. Same.
Okay.
Yeah.
So his AC is 31, but with the rain and the wind, your shots are kind of wild at this distance or with this amount of cover. Definitely the advantage to the vampire. Bukerbeck moved in. Farisay.
Let's see. Farisay leaves Pixel here and says, "Stay here. Keep an eye on that hole and swap me if it gets too messy, in here or out there." And then she moves. With haste, I think she's got 60 foot.
Okay, Farisay, you look down this alleyway.
She's fine.
And you can see, oh man, this alleyway is a mess. It looks like cartloads of diseased bodies have been just simply deposited into this alleyway. They would be up to, in this pile, up to Zephyros's waist. There's got to be at least 40 or 60 bodies here. Some of them were wrapped up, and then some of them were just like unceremoniously dumped. It does look like one of the bodies is separated from all the others, and you can see 2 arrows sticking out of the body. And there's something moving in the center of the body. At first you thought it was just the rain, but there is something there's something shifting amongst the corpses.
There's something out here. Some bodies. Oh, all of them. And something's moving. I'll just say that. I don't know if anyone can necessarily hear, and I'll take that step, that final step.
The door is open. Yeah, if you're speaking loudly, the people inside the building with the open door can hear you talking. And
actually, I think instead of doing any more movement, I'll bard song.
Can I do that on the roof? Is there a DC check for that?
Her talking would be a rain is 4, distance is 10, around the corner, DC 14 to hear what Farisay is saying.
Nice, I heard it.
Okay. Farisay, you stay there, and your bard song is a song or a
I'm gonna break out the pipes and blow pretty hard.
Okay. There is not one, but about a half dozen of the corpses start shifting when you start making a loud noise. There's a crackle of lightning and thunder in the sky, which allows you a better sight of it. And you could see some of them starting to moan and get up.
They're not all dead. All right, so I moved and started bard song, so that's me.
Not all of them are dead, and not all of them have completed getting up. Oh god, they've been lying in that alley for a long time. Some of them have begun to putrefy. All of them are showing signs of the blood veil. Big pustules along their neck or bleeding from their eyes in various orifices. Some of them look like they've they look very, very wet, we'll say. They're not dry zombies, moist. This particular one that's kind of purplish looks pretty fearsome compared to the others. And I'm going to call this a ground zero red veil zombie.
That sounds interesting.
It looks around. Its head snaps towards you. While the others seem to be sluggish and slow, this one seems to have a really keen look to it compared to his fellows. And he's staring with a hateful gaze towards you, playing your pipes cheerfully. Okay, and we're going to call him Grisly. Oh, we're actually going to call him his name. Ground Zero. Red Veil.
Oh, man.
Or the Blood Veil, right? Blood Veil. Zombie.
I like Zombie Woman 1. She's got a good vibe to her.
Yeah, she looks like she can party. She can dance. She can dance if you want
Only I want.
All right, that was Pharisee, Professor. Your ghost sound's still going.
So, how much did I see of the? I saw the whole volley of shots between Son and the Pale Skin Elf, right?
Yep.
And I would have seen like the Pale Skin Elf. Seems like he has magic up that's protecting him from shots getting through.
What was your? Can we mute the sirens? What was your second perception check when you were listening for Pharisee's
15.
15? Okay, you saw Son firing at something. You still don't know what it was.
Okay, I can't see it.
It's sneaking.
But I can see the general area. It's like a stairwell, right?
You see that there is an entry to a stairwell about here. Yeah. It's not well drawn on the map, but you.
Okay, I'm not really sure what's going on. It seems like, but I hear Pharisee's got something, and I can see that whatever comes up onto the roof has to come through like an entrance here. I will throw a web in there to gum up the works, and then I'm going to fly over to see what Pharisee was shouting about. Probably like circle around this way in the sky, and end up probably somewhere above the building around here. Flight and hasted is 100 speed, right?
90.
Okay. So yeah, I'll end up above the building somewhere on the corner, I guess behind Ferris.
Okay. The vampire thing gets a reflex save versus your web. You actually tagged him. You get a 15. He's actually stuck in your webs.
He's gonna hate that. The web would have gone off silently. Yeah, and I will mark when the illusion box disappears because I'm no longer concentrating on it.
Let me check to see if he's bothered by this. He has something called Spider Climb. It does not say anything about web spell in Spider Climb. Okay, so he is caught in the webs. Unfortunately, being caught in the webs with this distance of web between, well, actually, the web only anchors itself. It only anchors between things.
Like
So, there's this like really thick area of the web, which I'll draw in a fully colored gray, between the stairwell and the railing of the stairs, and then everything kind of anchored down into the alley behind it is all webbed. So all this area is webbed. The other area that's not colored in is not. It needs two things to web against, which means that there isn't a bunch of distance between San and him, which means you could see him, and he's also caught in the web, so he's a little bit screwed up right now. Professor went flying off into the rain, and have you descended all the way down into the alley?
No, I'm still flying up. I'm kind of just like seeing what's going on.
Okay, yeah, the a horrible alley full of corpses. Well, apparently you found where they were stashing the bodies lazily, or perhaps with purpose, are starting to get up.
It's not good.
And they're reacting to Pharisai's music, like they're shambling this way. Even Thurgis and Zephyros and Bukerbeck, through this hole, you can start to hear this rising moan. Thurgis. Oh, looks like the fight's outside.
I suspect it's on top.
Right. Do you want me to go through that wall, or do you want me to go around?
Which wall was he pointing at?
He's pointing at going through this wall with his adamantine greatsword. He can kind of cleave through wood walls like they're tissue paper.
I don't think so. I think we should go back the way we came, as a group, and see what happens.
Right back into the blood rains. That's fine with me. Are you flying, Pharisee?
Yes, but I just flew out there, and I'm essentially on the ground right now.
Okay, so yeah, what we got down here?
Bunch of corpses moving.
All right, the really agitated undead thing is screeching and pointing at your direction. It is going to do something not quite expected.
Unexpected and probably uncouth.
It moves through the corpses and actually takes cover as the rest are getting up and moving forward. Like it's still kind of stalking you, but it's moving and then peeking around the corner and pointing. The more shambolic ones seem to be getting up, and this group of them are going to start running forward.
Zombies? Fast zombies or slow zombies?
That's funny, Luke.
These ones are slow zombies.
Dawn of the Dead slow? Or Night of the Living Dead slow?
However, and let me do a proper count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We did say that there were 15 undead. 6, 7. I need another 7. 7 more corpses are standing up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That was a Sesame Street gig, I think.
No, that was Electric Company.
Was it? How about that?
Beautiful.
Always fun on a Tuesday night, right?
They're more of them that are standing up, and they're kind of climbing over each other and worming their way through a pile of wet corpses. They might be the most intact bodies. They are all dripping with blood and the blood veil, and they're very soggy. Yeah, everyone in the battle, both indoors and out, can hear the horrific moan and screams coming from Racker's Alley. Zephyros.
Zephyrus is going to cast Fly. His intentions were to go outside and cast Fly and then see where this guy went here. He suspected he would be running away. So it's got nothing to do with what he has here, what's going on in here. He's just accidentally sort of going to end up on the roof. So he's going to cast Fly, and how far can I fly in the same round as a 5-foot movement?
You're still hasted, so 90, and it's going to cost you, give me a second, 10, 20. It's going to cost you 20 to get through the door because you have to squeeze.
Okay. So 20 to get through the door. Zephyros will eventually just fly up, and the moment he gets onto the roof, I'm guessing he might start seeing some of the stuff, and he's just going to pause and assess what the hell he's seeing.
Okay. Zephyros, you do see the an illusion of a box being guarded by Balamut. You see San standing there and facing, like he's got his back to you, and it looks like he was firing his bow. And you see a bunch of webbing just on the other side of the building, and the pale-skinned vampire creature kind of struggling in the webbing, like he's trying to tear it off of himself.
So do I see him?
Yep. He's got cover, but you've cast a spell, you've moved, you've flown. It's about 20, and then up 15 is another 30. That's 50 feet. You've got 40 feet of movement left.
So I think the intent, sticking with the intent of what he had, he'll probably fly to about here. No, he doesn't want to go too close. So 30 is far enough. He'll go to about there. Do I see these zombies on this side?
The roof is sloped 15 feet up. Yeah, you can hear them moving around, and you can see probably the ones that are here getting up out of the pile. And you definitely see this one is more like screaming and pointing down the alleyway.
But I wasn't looking that way to see, so do I have to do a perception check or something to see if I notice it?
Nope, that was the same perception to notice things.
Okay.
He's yelling and pointing, although his head snaps and his jaw kind of clacks a couple times, and he also notices the flying elephant man in the rain up above the other building. He's looking up at you. He kind of hunches down like your prey.
I impress even zombies.
Makarnov's like, oh, those people look like they need some skin cream.
Yeah, it looks like they need a vat full of skin cream.
Oh, I don't have that stored. Just so you know. Hey, the vampire's over there.
The vampire stopped struggling. Oh, fuck you two.
Just far enough. Hopefully.
Okay, let me look at Webb. He is grappled by the web. He can make a grapple check. That is so shitty. Or an escape artist check. So apparently he's first. I'm going to heal him. You see his wounds starting to heal. Then he's going to make checking his skills. It's going to make a grapple check to try to get out of this. And it's the the DC of the spell that he has to break.
The DC of that web would be
Oh my god, these are
first, second level spell. Should be 21.
okay. He's got less than a 50% chance. He rolls a nat 1, so he struggles in the webs. That was his standard. Fuck. So he's stuck there. All right. He should have turned in. Okay. I think that's all he can do. Growls in anger. Balmut. Balmut now can see the vampire. The thing has made noise and is struggling in the web and is no longer sneaking.
Balamut will come up to Zephyros, like this, and ready in action.
Okay. Son.
I think it's pretty clear to Son that he can hit the elf from this far. So he will run to the side, because I'm assuming he at least like heard some of the commotion downstairs, or like in the alley.
Yep.
Okay, so he runs here. That's his move, and like as he's running, he yells to Zephyros. So I'm like, he's protected by magic, because he did see Arrow like being blocked by magic. It wasn't shitty shots.
With him right now pinned in the web, his AC is lowered.
The magic's still there. Son knows that.
Okay.
So he comes down here, or to like the edge. He sees all these people.
Oh, they're yeah. Well, with holes like that in your body, you don't think they're people anymore.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
The mass majority of them are not looking up at you. This one is, however, and it's hunched down and it's trying to like duck behind the other shambolic creatures. Immediately, you recognize that one as smart.
So when I reached the edge and saw this, I have Elixir of Dragon's Breath as a slotless item. Does this mean I can like drink it as a standard without like spending more to pull it out?
Normally, drinking a potion is a full round action. Now, the beautiful thing about this elixir is that you could drink it, and for the next hour, you could have it boiling around in your belly, and then you choose to expend it.
Oh, it's drinks and then okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So
this round, you could take it out and have it in hand.
Okay. So move. So taken out would be the standard, right?
I would let you spend your standard now and your move next round, so you could breathe it. You could breathe next round. Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I was even thinking like put it on the ground to make it like immediately accessible.
Yep.
But yeah. Well, yeah. So if I can use a move, wait. Could you repeat that? I don't think I understood you. You would let me stand.
So it's normally a full round action to drink.
Right.
Full round action, you could split up into a standard and a move. You're saying you want to spend your standard now in drinking it. I'd let you start the drinking action. You're not going to complete it until your next turn.
Do that.
Okay, so you're in the process of like, you've got the thing not only in your hand, but the stopper open, and you're just kind of raising it to your lips, and you're in the middle of drinking the dragon drop. It smells putrid, and it's got all sorts of spices in it, and there's like a mist coming out of the bottle. Bukrabek is going to trundle outside back into the rain, kind of using his shield above his head. And
What have we have here? Those creatures.
I think it's someone dead. I was gonna smash him, but maybe you could do something about him.
Nice.
It's the younger years.
Booker back. I don't know if he has much. Let me just check. The people standing around, can he buff any of you?
He could heal the professor too.
You can't see the professor.
Oh, that's true.
I think.
Well, but how about the whole rain around the body?
Oh yeah. He can see the outline of the professor. He doesn't know what state the professor's in though.
Gosh.
Are there like eaves to this house that?
I think he's just gonna cast protection from evil on himself.
That's not a bad plan.
Bumba dumba dumba, protect me from this evil that shambles this way.
There's a bit of a glow coming off of him. Ghost Sound and SI. Sorry. Pharisee, then Professor. Pharisee.
I think they want to tangle with us. Well, let's make it happen. I'll cast Black Tentacles. Maintain Bard Song.
Okay. All right. So black tentacles erupt in Racker's Alley. You can hear all sorts of moaning and crunching and horrible things. So give me the single CMB check.
Nat 20. Damn.
All right. You can't crit with grapples, but that definitely grabs a hold of them, and you can hear a sickening sound of zombified flesh starting to crunch and be squeezed. You notice that as they're squeezing, you notice that their pustules are popping, and the diseased pustules are actually like gaining air, like kind of all around the creatures as they're being squished.
Yeah. Look at them splattering. Oh, I'm glad we're over here. 5 damage.
5 damage. This would be bludgeoning damage.
Nice.
And these things are ripe enough that they're not absorbing any of, like, they're not shrugging off any of that damage. So
Okay.
everyone in the aura is grappled with a nat 20, and then they've all taken 5 damage.
I toss my head back and cackle, extending for one more round Thurgis's protective lock.
I assume you did that.
Oh, yes.
I also assume that wandering into the tentacle things is probably bad.
I wouldn't. But if anything wanders out, I'd like you to be standing in front of me.
Yeah, all right. I could do that.
I'll continue piping.
Okay. What kind of... It's bludgeoning damage, right?
Should be, yes. Let me give it a quick check. That doesn't say, but obviously, yeah.
All right. You don't see it, but Zafiro does. Zephyros, this particular zombie, the one that was smart, is grabbed by the tentacles, but doesn't seem to be taking any damage from them.
It's got that one. He's grabbed, but he looks to be okay.
Thurgis is going to march bravely into the alley and ready an attack with his sword blazing.
So this isn't Son saying this. This is the PC saying this. Max told us before he logged off last game that Thurgis had something like holy water.
Yeah.
And
He
that
said he had great water. I think he was thinking something about vampires and running water.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think you guys have made any of your knowledge checks, so he was telling you something, assuming that you knew something. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, he's standing at ready with his sword. I think that was Max throwing the players a bone, meta-wise. This zombie creature that seems to be smart is going to try to get out of your grapple. It makes a grapple check. It gets a 24. What's the CMD?
CMD is going to be 10 plus the CMB, so 23.
Okay.
He gets out.
So this guy wiggles out, and then he has movement. He does a very horrifying thing. Like some sort of ninja or cat, he climbs the side of the wall onto this roof, which is 20 feet up. Difficult terrain, so he's 10 feet up the wall still. He's just climbing up the roof. He growls at Zephyrus, who's looking at him, and he's climbing this particular wall right here. Grisly discoveries. All right, so 23. These things probably... They have to roll 19s to break out.
I think we skipped the professor, Marty.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So I saw that guy. Actually, my question is: there like a lip? Is there like a soffit or something under this building where I could get out of the rain, like some kind of overhang, where it's still up in the air, but I could duck under the rain?
If you're really close to the building, there's maybe a little bit of a lip, but nothing that's like will get you completely out of the rain.
Is it within 5 feet of me that I could 5-foot step underneath it flying?
Sure, we'll say that there's more of a lip in front of the window.
Okay. I will cast Reduce Person silently on myself to become the tiny professor.
All right, so you're small.
Yes. And then I see that guy over there climbing up on that wall.
He wouldn't have started climbing yet.
Okay.
The tentacles just got up. Yep.
And I see these others. I saw these other zombies outside of the black tentacles area. They seem pretty dumb.
It looks like they're going to wander into the black tentacles. You can actually see one of them trying to fight the black tentacle and like try to grab a hold of it, which is then just pulling it in. They're dumb.
Okay. And I saw the one that is he looks somewhat intelligent. I saw there's one like standout one in there.
I don't know if you made that distinction. You kind of flew around the corner. It hasn't done anything smart, so...
Okay. Well, that changes some things. I think in that case, I will just do my 5-foot step underneath the thing, and I will do a silent image. I'll cast it silently, and I will put a wall up right here. Whoops. Right here, so that if the zombies step through, they'll see a wall and hopefully be confused. And I'll say to everybody around me, I'll say, the wall's not real. Try not to believe it. And that will be my turn.
This is a silent image.
Yes, the DC on that one will be 22.
How tall is it?
It'll probably go up as far as it can before starting to interfere with the roof. I don't know any of them can like climb on walls. Well, I saw the vampire climb on walls, but I don't know these zombies can. I think they're probably just regular zombies. Yeah, DC's 22.
Can't you see if it has like climbing hooks and the helmet?
It's got a rope. It's got 50 feet of rope on its belt.
Yeah, and like a tiny toothbrush that is sawed off.
For the weight. Gotta save the weight.
Yeah.
All right, so silent image is an illusion.
Yes.
figment?
Oh, let's see. I got it open right here. Yes, it's a figment.
Not a phantasm.
Correct. Yeah, it should work on dumb zombies. They should see it. It's a wall.
All right. Well, everyone until they make their saving throw thinks it's a wall. They get a +4 because the professor's telling them it's not real. It sure looks real. Then, now, Professor, the thing breaks loose from the grapple. How tall was it? 20 feet or 10?
It goes up to like where the roof starts. So
Okay,
if it's
so about 15 feet up and 20 feet on that side. Now, Farisay, Bukerbeck, and Thurgis don't see this guy climbing and breaking free because there's a illusory wall in the way. The professor does, though. One of them is broke free and is like scaling the roof.
one is breaking free and climbing up the side of the roof.
These things fail to break the grapple of the tentacles, and then these dumb zombies all pile into the
Nice.
into the area of the tentacles, like they're responding to its movement and trying to attack the tentacles. They have to, I think, on your turn is when you make the grabbing. Let me just double check to see if creatures wander in.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Creatures that enter area are also automatically attacked. So
nice.
So the nat 20 automatically scoops them up, and you've got a big, fleshy, horrible zombie field wrapped by your very wet, inky black, almost octopi-like tentacles grabbing up. It is a horrible sounding alleyway with flipping tentacles, rainwater come down, and the gross moan of zombies, and then like the crunching of bones. Zephyros.
Is muted. I'm terribly sorry.
Yeah, there's a vampire struggling in a web spell. He has cover from you, but he is grappled by the web, and you see the tentacles reaching up and like tossing the zombies around, and then through the tentacles you can see one has broken free from the tentacles and is scaling the wall.
Does the vampire have total concealment?
No.
Okay, so he does not have total concealment. Zephyros is going to try and hit him with a magic missile that comes out of a wand. He's not sure if this is going to hit. This guy might have a shield up, but...
Okay.
Son did say that, like, he has magic armor.
Yeah.
Zephyros did hear that. Okay.
Oh, did Son say he's got magic armor?
As he was running by Zephyros to open a can of monster, basically.
Okay, well, magic armor is much different than a shield spell.
Well, but Son doesn't know that.
That's great.
So
that's
Son
what I mean.
just had magic armor.
Yeah. I think Zephyros is still going to give it a try, because Zephyros, we need to eliminate this guy, and that's what Zephyros is thinking. But Zephyros doesn't want to burn the webbing or damage the webbing, so he's going to try something a little milder and see what happens.
What level is the magic missile wand?
It's a caster level 5.
So 3 magic missiles go flying from the wand, and they all go unerringly into a shield spell that is protecting the vampire.
Okay, fair enough. I suspected that might happen.
You have a move action left?
As part of the move action...
move, you took out your wand.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Don't monsters get to do that for free?
If you have perception, if you have quick draw, you can take it the most. Which is a house rule. We consider wands weapon-like. Mokranum.
Do you want me to hold that for you? For keeping?
I am gonna keep that in my trunk for now.
Oh, okay. What are we doing with it? It looks bad.
I don't know, Mokranum. I'm making it up as I'm going along now.
Do you want me to make sure that he gets really sticky?
I think he's really sticky where he is right now, don't you think?
Oh, okay. I'll
I think
just
stay with me. We don't know. I don't want you to get too close. I think with the magic that he has, being evil as he is, getting too close might affect you somewhat.
Oh, all right. You stay here, Bahamut.
The pale skinned elf creature is going to try to break from this damn web. He's going to do it a different way.
Turn into mist.
He spends a standard action to turn into mist. And then a move action to glide back down the stairs. Balmut just snorts. He's smart enough to kind of follow Zephyrus's lead. He doesn't see everyone rushing over there.
I'm sorry. He's smart enough to follow Mocronom's lead.
Sure.
He's the leader of our party.
He will be smart enough also to listen to Son's commands. I don't know if you're commanding him to do anything. You did see the vampire turn into mist and flow through the webs.
If I don't see him, if I don't see Balamut moving, I'm not telling him to do anything.
Okay. He'll just stay ready to attack something, continuing to guard the illusory box.
Well, guard Zephyros maybe, but beyond that.
Sure. Son, what are you doing? There's a... This is nightmare fuel. The tentacles and the zombies and the pustules of Bloodvale. Yeah. Pharisee did a good thing clogging up this alleyway.
Been at a concert like that once or twice, but yeah, not into it. So on the map, the contour for the tentacles reaches into this spot, but are they like on the roof, 20 feet up from where they are on the bottom?
No, they're only in the alley area,
Gotcha.
and they don't reach into the building or anything like that.
Understood. Okay. Then Son 5-foot steps this way, and 15-foot dragon breathes. I guess. Well, because he spent the move action finishing the drinking, correct?
So standard action was already spent. You need to do a move action to finish drinking it, and then you could take a 5-foot step and then breathe if you wanted to.
That was yes.
Okay.
So I was confirming that what I was going to do was correct.
Yep. Yeah.
So
you feel this? It's red dragon breath, right?
Yes.
Okay, you got that from the old layer of the red dragon that had the illusory red dragon in
Yeah.
it.
One that didn't have red dragon. Yes.
Yeah. You drink the stuff. Oh, it feels like the hottest peppers you've ever had before. Your stomach is burning. Your esophagus is burning. It's just like oh. And then there's this light that's coming out of your mouth, and you open your jaw wide, and you begin breathing fire all over the assembly. Let's look at the area of effect. Is a
15-foot cone.
15-foot cone. When you kind of aim it down, like you're squatting really far down, a 15-foot cone could burn this group.
Oh, there you go.
All right, so zombies that are grappled. Their reflex saves are gonna suck. Their reflex saves are 0, with the grappling effect is -2. And the elixir has a DC of
16.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Oops, I need a 1. Two failed, 2 made it.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's the roll is for half.
Yeah, so 7d6, I think.
Yeah.
26 damage. Okay, so you roast 2 of the zombies. And when the zombies burn, they bursted. All their pustules and blood kind of went and the burst kind of touched every square around them. All you can think as a healer is, Iambulus, the disease is going to spread horribly this way. So these two zombies kind of bursted against the wall,
That was going to be my question.
and then these two zombies with 13 damage, 16 are almost dead. Oh, sorry, one of them already had 5. Oh, they already had 5 damage from the
tentacles.
16. 13 is 18. That's their hit points. You popped all 4 of them.
Nice, dude.
They're sick and filth glistening in the in the amoral, uncaring grasp of the tentacles. Bukerbeck. Bukerbeck is just going to go beside Thurgus and mount a full defense. He's just trying to provide a wall of shield and sword and armor and meat.
But without actual sword.
He has no. He has no weapon in his hand currently. That sounds dumb. He's going to, as part of his move, because he has more than one bab, he's going to pull his magical Morning Star. Okay, Pharisee. I need a grapple check for damage.
Yep, we're going to continue that. So this is going to be +5 on things that are already grappled. So that's a 24.
Okay, and then I think you re-grabbed the one that's climbing.
At a 19 in that case.
Yep, that's exactly what you needed to hit. So he's re-grabbed, and then they all take damage again.
All right.
I thought he was on the roof, and I thought the
he couldn't get to the roof. He's halfway up the wall.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep, he didn't have enough movement.
Oh, Jesus, how tall are these tentacles?
6 damage.
20-foot radius. Like there is
no, but like height-wise, how far up do they reach?
It's a 20-foot spread.
They might have like a I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's a field of them. They're like, if you moved any closer, if you hopped off the edge or even put your hand over the edge, the tentacles would try to grab you.
Gotcha.
So 6 damage. The very next roll, what are you trying to spend it on, Wither? 6 damage does 1 damage to the climbing zombie.
Sounds about right.
But the others are just being crunched.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of blood veil pustules that are popping. This new group of zombies, they're all at 11 damage too. Crunching. The moaning is somewhat dying down after the fire glistened through the to the next player roll. Cool. Thanks, Wither.
All right. I'm going to continue Bard Song.
Yep.
I'm going to cackle.
Okay.
And I'm going to fly up to say about 25 feet up.
All right, you have a pretty good view now over the wall, and you can see that one zombie has begun to climb. You haven't spent the time trying to disbelieve the wall, and you haven't interacted with it, so it's still real to your eyes. Professor.
Okay, so I saw the smart-looking one try and climb out.
Yeah, he's now like trying to attack a tentacle that's grabbed a hold of his leg as he's trying to climb.
Yeah, and he seems to be decently strong, whereas the other ones are pretty weak. I'm going to start a full round action of Summon Horror 4. And I don't think I can... Can I do a swift action while starting a full round, or can I not?
Yeah. You do a swift action.
Awesome. I will spend 1 arcane point to recall Silent Image.
Okay.
2 to do arcane.
And now you're summoning. Okay. What level horror spell?
4.
4. Okay. If somebody could roll a d20 for me, Thurgus actually took a step forward and is swiping at the wall. Like he wants to see what's coming.
6.
6, and then his will save it. So that's a 10 with the bonus for being told the wall's not real. And Thurgus's will save is, looking in a sheet, plus 12. So he gets a 22. What's the DC of the wall?
22.
Nice. So he sees that, all right, the wall's not real. So he stepped forward, swung through it, and he's just going to reset up kind of just like inches away from the wall on the party's side. There might be a bit of his sword sticking through the wall, maybe to attract the zombies. The Bloodveil zombie is going to attempt to break this damn grapple again. He's got +7. Rolls a nat 1. Okay, he's stuck. And then the Grisly Discoveries, now it sounds like a Harry Potter novel, is 7. They need 19s. One of them busted free. Now, the problem with slow zombies is they've got one action around. So this one
Oh no!
breaks
This poor guy.
free, but then it's done. So it has to... It not only has to break free from the grapple, it then has to move on its next turn, but by that time it could be grappled again.
It's a pretty good spell for zombies.
I think you found a really good spell for fighting zombies, Pharisee.
Yeah, makes sense. If you're as a necromancer or whatever, you got to have your tentacles to control your zombies. You know, that's just science right there.
Zephyros.
Zephyros he's gonna see if he can spot where the pale-skinned elf is going.
Yep.
So he's gonna move more upwards into the air to see if he can see him.
Okay, so this roof section is 20 feet up.
Okay, so no chance.
Pythagoras would mean that you're like going to be very, very high up, and
not going to be able to see him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you start moving up, and you're like, no, I'm not going to see it. So we'll say you spend about 10 feet of movement flying.
Yeah, and then what I'll do is I'll move a little bit horizontally towards the rest of the party on this side. Because I can see the black tentacles is working down there. I'm not going to interfere with the black tentacles.
Yep. You also saw that the fire from Zan's fiery breath thing didn't damage the black tentacles.
That may be true, but I don't have enough fire to go around wasting it at this point.
That's fine. I'm just letting you know what you saw. Macronom's like,
that alley is all sorts of wrong.
Pale-skinned elf. All right. He's going to heal 5.
Ooh, poor pale-skinned elf.
Oh, his movement rate sucks. He's got a stupid. All right, he'll turn the web into his own defense.
Jeez, I wonder if web is dismissible.
All right, so the mist moves around and is... Oh, I could just get to... It actually goes into the tentacles. Give me a second. Gaseous form your way through tentacles.
Probably not difficult terrain there for them, or I mean that seems reasonable. Like if you can't be grappled, yeah.
Yeah, he's basically starting to flow. You could see him starting to flow into the toy shop again. Like the mist came around, and it looks like it's starting to flow through that crack in the wall. Balmut. Let's see. San sees that. Zafiro sees that. Thurga sees it, and I don't think the two of you have seen through the wall yet. Farisay, you are 25 feet up, so yeah, you saw it, and the professor is hiding behind a building, so he hasn't seen it. So basically, Bukerbeck and the professor did not see the movement of the misty vampire. Balmut and San, what are you guys doing?
Balmut hasn't seen it either, I'm assuming.
Yeah, he's over the corner here.
Right. Well, he saw the pale-skin monster disappear. He sees Zephyros going that way. He'll just come by my side. Maybe turn like south in case somebody attacks from the south. And well, maybe he might not know to do that. Fuck it. Yeah, he just comes like maybe here or something, and just guards San.
Okay, ready to action. San, what are you doing?
Pale skin is more important. Fuck it. Move like this way, and breath westward onto the remaining zombies.
I don't think you have any breath left.
I think it doesn't last for an hour. Oh, is it an hour? Yeah, one user. Okay, never mind.
But I think the canister restores itself every day.
It does. It's once per day.
Cool.
Yeah, I misread that. Okay.
Yeah, you feel the burning sensation in your mouth, but it's not. It's like the fire isn't there anymore. Just the spice,
right.
The spiciness.
Yes.
Your eyes are all watery.
The ass is gonna keep
from the rain, as well as the no one can see you crying heat tears.
Yes. That's why welders wear masks, by the way, so that no one can see them cry.
Interesting.
This is the reason. Okay, then the zombies look like they're probably gonna die, so I am going to cast Divine Favor.
Nice, granting you luck bonuses on your attack rolls. Look at you. Your god gladly grants you that spell.
Yes.
As the,
and it's
as the dead don't dream. Bukrabek. He's going to do the same thing as Thurgus. And make a will save. See if he can see through this wall. There's still a hero point, but I'm not spending it on the NPCs that are running around. Let me know when you want that hero point to go kaboom. I don't want to drain it for something like...
Well, he said the next player attack roll.
Yeah.
Matt, I don't know where to add the Divine Favor on the sheet.
I would put that in on the combat routines, in the section kind of the top section of things.
Oh, Bookerbeck's pretty wise. Plus 10 will save with a plus 4.
This trick will trick their simple minds.
He's going to ready an attack if one of them comes. Pharisee.
Right. We're gonna continue Bard Song. We're gonna move action cackle. And then let's see. Can I see the red veil zombie?
Yes, it is halfway up through your field of tentacles, and it is climbing, but is currently its legs are grabbed. So you're looking down upon the wall, and you could see him.
Right. Does he have any cover?
Yep. From the wall. Plus 4 to AC.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna go ahead and try and shoot him with a ray of enfeeblement. I got it's a 45-foot range. It's close. That should be in range there.
Sounds like an attack roll, and it sounds like that meets the
that's
the
true.
hero point. So
I was not trying to fish for it.
you roll at a plus 8.
All right. Let's see. In my attack roll, this is a ranged touch attack. Is normally plus 12, so it's going to be plus 20.
This creature's AC is 20. It actually has a climb speed, so it loses nothing for being for climbing. However, it being grappled, it loses some AC. So AC 18 with cover, AC 22. Oh, a 36 just tags it with this is a ray of enfeeblement.
Yes.
Okay. I just need to check something.
Yeah, let's see what kind of resistances he's got.
You know, for a necromancy spell, it doesn't actually say that this is negative energy. It's a...
Oh, interesting. Yeah. A coruscating ray.
A coruscating ray. Thanks, Paizo. I don't think anyone has coruscation resistance. Coruscating. All right. So it needs to make a fortitude save or take lots of penalties to its strength, and even if it makes it, oh no, you found its weakness.
To emit vivid flashes of light, flash, lightning, gleam.
DC 18.
Coruscate.
16 is its saving throw.
That's not going to do it.
Okay, so it takes 1d6 plus 1 for every 2 caster levels, max 5, penalty to strength. Strength cannot drop below 1. You have just drained it of 9 strength.
Oh, holy shit, dude.
Its beefy 18 strength has been dropped to 9. Okay, there is a coruscating aura of yellow colors flowing around it, and a strength penalty of 9. Okay, it does not look pleased, but it's not grunting or screeching as loud as it was before.
I look pleased, and that's what matters.
Yeah, the jerks.
Is there an animation that goes with the arrow point as it gets used or something?
I don't think so. I think there's just a thing in chat.
I don't mean in Twitch, I mean in meta gameplay.
I think there's a coruscating animation that happens. Yeah, I think there is.
We'll have to close our minds and imagine coruscating rays and auras.
Yeah.
And we're all like, what the fuck is that? So we're all going to imagine a different thing.
Divine intervention or something that happens.
I had no idea what that meant.
All right, Professor. Looks like your summon goes off, and this is the last round for the ghost sound as well as the last round for the silent image.
Yeah, that's correct. Can I peek my head around this corner to let loose this summon horror? Or...
Yeah, it appears at 25 feet plus 5 feet every 2 levels away from you.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Pixel is going to start moving around,
Okay.
sneaking.
Yeah.
She's gotten curious.
with her
She's
godlike
curious
sneak.
where Red Mist goes because she saw those Red Mist guys go in here.
Okay. Where's she
So
sneaking to?
she's going to sneak over into this area.
Okay. There is a little bit of blood in this area, but it doesn't look like it was the stuff from this doorway.
She'll just sort of keep moving around, and she'll
Give me a survival check or a wisdom check from Pixel. This may be difficult because Pixel's a wee little fae and might be simple-minded.
Did you just say she was a weeb?
Wee little fae.
Oh, okay. I was
Like
gonna
a wee-
say
like
no.
a wee
Wait,
lad.
anime.
She is very simple-minded.
Okay,
She rolls a 1 and gets a 3.
She gets distracted from some of the toys, by some of the toys, and she's not thinking clearly. But she's
Yes, fair enough.
definitely stealthing around, and if you could add a stealth to her token, that would be great.
Yes, I'll do that.
Professor, okay, your ghost sound's dying down, and the box on the roof disappears, and you are going to summon a horror.
Yeah, I'm trying to look around this corner to see where I should shoot it down this alleyway. Do I see the pale skin elf?
Yeah, there's a misty form that you recognize as the pale skin elf, and it looks like he's starting to flow into the building. Like, you
Okay,
can see
and
his
I
intent.
saw that other vampire trying to escape the tentacles.
Sure, we'll call it a vampire.
Oh, yeah, sorry, zombie.
No, that's fine. You guys haven't rolled any. I should have called them all vampires. Sluggish vampires with no teeth or no fangs. Fangless vampires.
So I will try and shoot my summon horror as close to him as I can on the wall. I want to keep it out of the tentacles, but if it tries to climb back up again, it will climb into the waiting jaws of a grick that is climbing on the wall above it.
So you're summoning it on the ceiling then?
On the wall, like next to this guy, where this guy was trying to climb up. And I should be able to like.
Does the Grick have climb speed?
Yes, I put a token in VC.
I think I've got a Grick. Just faster this way. Nice. I got 3 Gricks you could choose from. You could go with the orange Grick, the green Grick, or the circular green Grick. Which Grick do you like the best?
Let me go circular green. Ooh, I see. Oh, orange Grick's looking good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a Grick, and it's 25 feet. You're 8th level, so
45 feet away, so I should be able to put it right on the wall above this.
Yep. It was, so it's right above his head, right? Okay.
So the elf I saw is like going into the wall.
That would be in the tentacles, unless you're putting it on the roof.
I was actually going over towards on the other side.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's on the roof.
Because this elf was like incorporating into a drain. I don't really know what that's about, right?
Yep.
Was it going into the drain, or is it just like hovering in the air?
No, it's not a drain. There's a wall there's a hole in the wall that it's flowing in.
Okay. Yeah, so I would...
Dear Liza.
There's a hole in my shop.
The Grick, like, right above that zombie over there on the wall it was trying to climb up, but out of reach of the tentacles, so that as soon as it escapes the tentacles, it will go into the jaws of the Grick.
Okay, how big is the Grick? Is it small or medium?
I think it was medium. Let's see, I have them open here. Medium. Neutral, medium aberration with a climb speed of 20.
Okay. So yeah, it's up there. It's tentacles flapping around, and then you get this really sinking feeling as you've just summoned some sort of horrible aberration into this world.
So I will command it to attack that thing if it escapes.
Okay.
And then I will quick draw a memory lapse wand. I will forget any of that just happened so that I don't have that icky feeling of being the reason the Grick exists.
Okay. You hear a voice in your head. It is Sinclair that says, "Coward. Don't worry. I'll remember for you."
I don't know. I can't remember you saying that.
You wipe the wand across your head, and you're a bit confused as you're like, "Oh yeah, combat."
So the
and then you make a mental note that the summon horror spell that you prepared this morning called what level?
4.
4 is not in your memory.
Yes, I won't think too hard on it though.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I don't really know what's going on with the mist, so I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do about that. I think, because I didn't see this vampire turn into the mist earlier at all, did I?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll just be done there.
Okay, so Thurgus has one more searing light left.
I think, can he use it? He knows the wall's not real.
Yeah, he just walked through it.
He knows the
All right, let's try this. They don't seem to like the light.
Putting his sword down, it clinks against, like, his sword is dangerous. When he kind of put his sword in one hand and it's heavy and it kind of clinked against the ground, it scored like one of the bricks in the street. Adamantines dangerous, but there is a cascade of light that looks like sunlight that lights up the Racker's Alley. The scorching light sort of burns some of the hair of the zombies that are tentacle surfing in the black inky grasp. We'll say that this thing does have a little bit of cover from the tentacles. However, let's see, its AC is different against a touch attack. Too many tabs. Where's my vampire? I lost my vampire. Somebody want to roll a ranged touch attack for me for Thurgus, and I think there was a redeemed fortune PC immediate. Wither, do you want to spend a fortune check on the or was that already spent? Immediate.
Didn't Farasay get something for a roll?
She spent the hero point. I think there's a +2 in the immediate's supposed to be against something specific, but I'll allow it to appear against this thing. We'll tighten that up as we go. So Thurgus's ranged attack is plus Bab of 6 and Dex of 16, and there's a Bard song going. That
There is.
so 9.
Yeah, there's Bard song.
Bard song is +2, so 11. And then we'll spend that fortune on it, so 13. Somebody want to give me a d20 plus 13 against the vampire?
Not a great roll. It's 16 total.
Okay. Gaseous form gets rid of all of its natural armor, which I think it's just touch AC. Size, dex, deflection, and armor bonuses from force still apply. Well, none of the force effects it has affects its AC. Its deflection is 2, its dex is 4, its dodge is 1, giving it an AC of 17. With the bit of cover from the
Just enough.
bit of cover from the tentacles is a touch AC of 19. So the searing light misses the creature and ends up striking the back wall, kind of scorching the wall of the building. A retroactive hero point would make that hit.
Woohoo!
But there isn't one in the
Hint,
tank.
hint, nudge, nudge.
I'm just explaining how close it
This is
is.
good.
Ground 0, Blood Veil Zombie. Oh, it lost a bonus of 5. It's making grapple checks at +2 just to escape.
It's a
It needs to
20.
roll